In lane 1, it will be once again Mark Webber and the York International. Jimmy King puts the Lumar window film in lane 2. Then Mark Tate in the Freddy's Club. Dave Vilwalk is in lane 5. 2 boats outside him. Mike Hansen in lane 6. That puts the Waikiki Trolley way out in lane 7. A great start for Dave Vilwalk, an early lead for the Miss Budweiser.
It looks like they've righted the ship quite literally, Steve. A great start from the Miss Budweiser, speeding out ahead of the field from lane 5 and passing, it looked like, Mark Webber right there in lane 1. So no troubles in the finals. Whatever might have been plaguing Miss Budweiser and Dave Vilwalk in Heat 3 doesn't seem to be bothering them in the final.
Just an incredible first turn for Bernie Little's Red Rocket, motoring around the entire field. You should not be able to do that. But today, this boat has had the field covered, with the exception of one heat where something happened, and perhaps we'll never know exactly what.
Into the back turn, the Pearl City turn, and it's Miss Budweiser in the lead, about a rooster tail lead over the U-10 Mark Webber in the York International.
You saw Vilwalk and the Budweiser out in lane 5, and if you joined us late in the season, that because of previous victories, consecutive wins move you out. First, we saw him restricted from lane 1, no problem. Then lane 2, then 3, and now lane 4. Now, he doesn't have to stay out here throughout the entire heat. When he has a legal overlap, he can move over, and you see him now in lane 2, but he's leaving room for Mark Webber and the York International to run in lane 1.
I don't think it matters much what lane Mark Webber is in right now or what lane Miss Budweiser is in right now. They look like they're running full guns a-blazing, finishing this season on a strong note. And you know Dave Vilwalk would like nothing more than to answer the critics with an emphatic exclamation point in the final.
It wasn't a perfect season for the Budweiser team. They were beaten twice on the water by Chip Hanauer and the Pico. In Madison, they ended the day upside down, and of course the Pico won that one. But they have definitely been the dominant team once again in the sport this year. And unfortunately for the competition, it looks like one of their strongest combinations came together right here on Pearl Harbor.
Obviously, Chip Hanauer and the Miss Pico not racing in the final. They folded up shop and will be getting things ready for next season, I presume. But right now, back to the final at hand, and Mark Webber in second place. Here's the race for third, though. Very exciting. Freddy's Club and the Lumar window film. And right now, Mark Tate pulling ahead in third.
Great race between the 2 Outrigger-sponsored boats back there for third place. Meanwhile, first and second, pretty well decided if everybody keeps running. Dave Vilwalk and his Miss Budweiser. That is a 6,500-pound boat traveling 200 miles per hour over very, very rough water here on Pearl Harbor. A very impressive day for this team.
And it's been a very impressive season once again. Looking like it's going to be back-to-back 8 victory seasons for Dave Vilwalk and the Miss Budweiser. And I just want to remind everybody, right now we're watching the final. It's more of a marathon than a sprint. 5 laps in the final compared to just 3 laps in the first 3 heats of the day.
The waters of Pearl Harbor really much rougher than they appear on camera. There you see the Budweiser launching off a wave as he begins to accelerate down the front straightaway, slowing down to about 145 or so in the turn, and then up to about 200. Here's that race for third place, and right now it's Mark Tate and the Freddy's Club with just a little bit of an advantage over Jimmy King and the Lumar window film, but third place not yet decided.
And I'm sure Mark Tate would like to get a little bit of a bigger lead on Jimmy King so he could get into the inside lane and secure that third place spot. Right now, it's all Miss Budweiser and Dave Vilwalk, your current leader, and he's been your leader since the starting line.
A perfect season appears to be an unattainable goal in boat racing. If anybody could do it, these guys could, and even they lost 3 times this year. Now look at this race. Jimmy King using his advantage on the inside. We pointed out earlier where he had hit some rough water and had some problems in there. Looking good now.
We've seen some great deck-to-deck racing here in Pearl Harbor, Steve, and that's going to be a great way to finish it, the battle for third. But once again, Dave Vilwalk and the Miss Budweiser not concerned with third. They're concerned with winning this winner-take-all final, and it looks like they're going to cruise into doing that.
Look at Jimmy King now. He used the advantage of the inside in the Aloha Stadium turn to get by Mark Tate and the Freddy's Club. So this may be a reversal of the time these 2 hooked up in an earlier heat. Now the Lumar appears to be moving out, putting some water between himself and the Freddy's Club.
Certainly a great weekend for Jimmy King, Bill Worster, and the Lumar crew. They won Heat 3A, and it looks like they're going to secure a spot in third place for the final. A great way for the Lumar crew to end this season.
Miss Budweiser on her way to the checkered flag. Dave Vilwalk, with all his victories, had never won here in Hawaii. So this will be a first for him, certainly not for his team, though.
A lot of history made this season, Steve. Dave Vilwalk passed Dean Chenoweth on the all-time wins. Obviously, everyone thinking that Chip Hanauer would eventually tie Bill Muncie's all-time wins record. That's not going to happen. We can only hope that Chip comes back next year and challenges that record again.
This was Chip's last chance, of course, in '99 to tie the record. Will he be back? That'll be one of our big off-season questions. Jimmy King now comfortably in third place. Bill Wurster's team having a good day.
Well, here's the finish line. Dave Villwock is your champion, the winner of the JN Chevrolet Hydra Fest, his 8th win on the year, and Jimmy King with a good showing in third, second place going to Mark Webber in the York International.
And the question will remain through the offseason. What would have happened with a healthy Pico under Chip Hanauer here in the final heat? Well, we'll never know. Jimmy King will be very happy with his third-place finish for the Outrigger Hotels Lumar window film entry. And Bob Fendler's Waikiki trolley, driven by Jerry Hale, had one of its better days here at home.
Coming around that final turn, the Pearl City turn, and into the final straightaway, it's 5th place. Looks like it's going to be a 5th-place finish for Waikiki trolley, Jerry Hale, and Bob Fendler's crew. A good showing in the final, a great showing for the weekend for the hometown boat.
Speaking of great weekends, Dave Villwock and Miss Budweiser near perfect as he takes a victory lap with Pearl City in the background.
Allowed to soak in the scenery on the victory lap. Miss Budweiser wins, York International in second, followed by Lumar, Freddy's Club, Waikiki Trolley, and Miss Starro Enterprises in 6th. The high point standings are over. Miss Budweiser wins, Miss Pico in second, and the York International finishing close behind in third. As for the drivers, Dave Villwock wins. Mark Webber jumps up to second place, followed by Greg Hopp and Chip Hanauer.
Well, David, I know you like to win them all. That didn't happen in '99, but 8 wins, the national championship. Congratulations on a great season.
Well, we've been real lucky. It's been a great year for us. Mark Smith, Lawrence Sawyer, the entire Budweiser, too, have done a great job all year long. And, you know, I've just a piece of this puzzle here that brings the success. But, I mean, there's thousands and thousands of parts that can go wrong in these boats. And we had one go wrong today, you know, but luckily it went wrong at the right time, and Mark and the guys fixed it, and it was awesome in the final.
Was your biggest competition today from the other boats or Pearl Harbor?
Both, I think, the other boats. But I knew that York was going to give us a big run, and the other guys were going fast in there. I had to stay out there for a long time, but luckily I think I had a little better boat ride than the other guys, and I was able to get over the top of the rough stuff.
Looking forward to 2000 now. Bernie talking about a new boat. I'm sure you're in on those plans.
Yeah, we're excited about a lot of things. UHRA is doing a lot of good things, a lot of new sponsors coming on this Rouse Tour, so we're having a good time.